Hey guys, this is Lord Nitrum here. Thanks for coming over to watch episode 3. I do want to apologize a little bit for episode 2 and 3 having some sound quality issues, especially noticeably, at least to me, was Chenson would get feedback every once in a while, echo of my voice causing feedback, and we're working to kind of resolve that issue, but we will see that in episode 3 as well, because we did do the recordings for episode 2 and 3 in one sitting. We will work to resolve that, and I do want to apologize for some of the quick editing as well. We're getting better at editing some of this stuff together, but we're still pretty new to it, so hopefully within the next few episodes, by episode 5 or 6, I'd say, we should have an intro theme and better transitions whenever we have to edit stuff out. So look forward to that, and hope you enjoy this episode. Alright, so we also pre-staged our enchanting area for enchanting with Botania. As you can see, we have this obsidian layout here, and we have flowers in between and flowers located over here around it. So what we'll do is we will go into, I believe it is, where is it? Should be natural apparatus. Here we go. So enchanting with mana. So as you can see, this is what the obsidian layout should look like, and it shows this checkered board pattern around it with gold blocks so that you know where to put mana pylons. Now the mana pylons need to go one block in the air and have flowers underneath them, so we've done that here. We've already laid that out.
Doesn't matter the flowers, right?
Nope, does not matter what the flowers are. As you can see in the final picture here, it shows they have flowers underneath of various colors. So I decided to go with cyan and light blue flowers, just because it matches up a little bit nicer with the color of the pylons. And we covered how to make pylons already when we were working on our gate over there. So I've prepared some, and we're going to go ahead and place these down above the flowers. Uh-oh. There we go. Have to break a torch here.
And you also need one lapis lazuli block, right?
That's correct.
For the center?
Absolutely. Yep, so if we look back, it'll show on the last picture, which seems it was taken during nighttime when they were making this book, to put one lapis lazuli block in the middle there. I have one of those as well, so we will go ahead and place that down. And nothing happened. So
you need to use the wand of the forest, I believe.
That's right. So we just right click on that, or shift right click. Nope, it is not working. Well, let's check our book. We have that in the center. After the construction is done, right click with the wand of the forest, and the enchanter should form. Seems that's a no-go. Let's make sure we have this spread out properly. We'll look at our pattern here.
Do we need to use some kind of books?
No, we don't need any books around. I'm wondering if it's because we have torches in the area. We'll try removing those.
Well, the block should change from lapis lazuli to something else.
It absolutely should. And it is not. Look at that. It's not activating. Everything does seem to be placed correctly.
I don't think this was lined up correctly.
No. Let's give
Try
it
it
a
again.
shot. Oh, yep, I guess.
That one was off by a block.
Right.
These
good
are fickle.
catch.
They gotta be like perfect.
It is, and we saw that when we were making the portal last time. It took me a minute to realize I had the layout wrong. So luckily we have Chinson around to correct my mistakes. All right, perfect. So we'll go ahead and we'll place the pool back. Unfortunately, we lost some mana because I picked it up thinking we needed to clear the area, which was not the case. And let's press F7. Oh, it seems we actually, when I press F7, I don't see any. Yeah, there are no yellow X's, so nothing will spawn in this area. That's real nice. It must be generating some form of light then. And as a quick treat to our viewers, I'm going to set an armored zombie on fire.
You're getting tired of hearing him, like, complain over there?
I am getting tired of hearing him complain. He's just wandering around our farm area. Uh-oh, now I'm on fire.
So what can you enchant with this? Like, armor, weapons?
Yeah, you can enchant armor, weapons. I believe it works the same as a normal enchanting setup, but at the cost of mana instead of experience. So I think the higher the enchantment you want to go, the greater the mana cost. It will be a while before this mana pool fills up. We might come back and show how it works in a different episode.
Okay, so you just stick an item up there and just enchants it?
Yes, it will enchant it. So we'll have to learn a little bit more detail about how we actually do the enchantment. Okay, depends on the rarity of the enchantment. Let me read through this real quick. Be fed.
It mentioned having different books.
Yep, so it looks like we need enchanted books. So we will actually have to make enchantment books. You can find those as dungeon loot, or there are mods where you can pull enchantments off of weapon and armors you find and put them onto books. So we can make those and we can use those as part of the enchantment altar. And instead of using tons and tons of experience, which we don't have a lot of because we've died while exploring, it will use mana instead. So this is actually very useful. You can make highly enchanted items at no cost or your own experience levels, and that's pretty nice. For example, I have a golden chestplate from that zombie. It has protection 3, so we could pull that onto a book using some method we'll have to look up. I'm not familiar with how to do that, and then we could use that book on this altar and put it onto, say, mana steel chestplate.
It's useful that you don't have to use experience to make these enchants like you normally do. Because this mana is basically free with your setup here.
Exactly. This is pretty much all free mana, especially considering there is a way to create great amounts of petals if you have bone meal. If you take a petal, not a mana petal but a normal petal, and you were to right click the ground where you right click would start to have shimmering particles. At that point, if you right click it again with bone meal, it creates a large flower which gives you 4 petals instead of 2. So you can pretty much duplicate flower petals endlessly as long as you have a good amount of skeleton bones to grind up into bone meal. And that's how we got so many petals for these flowers. It was 120 cyan petals, and I only had 15 flowers at the time, so I used quite a bit of bone meal to get these flowers prepared for us today. Alright, now we do need to get mana over to the mana enchanter from the mana pool, so Sparks is one of the best ways to transfer mana between a pool and a device. We have a spark set up already here on our algorithm plate and a mana pool over here, so we'll cover how we can make sparks. And these are actually probably one of the easiest things to make. Well, considering you will need blaze powder. So all you do is you set blaze powder on both sides, so 6 for each spark. You put gold nugget in the middle, and then 2 mana petals of any color on the top and bottom, just like this. And that will give you 2 sparks to communicate with each other.
What do sparks do exactly? Because you never really mentioned it before until now. I've seen them. I'm assuming it's these little floaty thingies.
That's right. They're just floating sparks. That's all they are. So what we can do now that we have them set up, you can right click and we can see it creates a temporary stream of light for you to see where they are. So you can go ahead and borrow that, Ryan. The wand is behind you. You can right click on one of them. It shows you what it's connected to. They by default will bind to the closest one near them. If you want to bind them to different ones, you can use the wand to turn it into bind mode and then say bind it to something across the garden here, but we won't need to do that. This worked out perfectly. And what this will do is this will actually create a direct link between the pool and this device, and instead of using beams such as the normal mana spreader or the elven mana spreader, it will just instant transmit the mana from one spark over to the other at a very rapid rate. It usually takes about 6 seconds or so, maybe 6 to 10 seconds to use up half a mana pool over to a device using spark. So it's very rapid, and that's great when you're enchanting because it seems like enchanting will use up a large amount of mana. You know, if you were to use a spreader, you'd be waiting all day on that.
I was worried that the spark was taking up a location for putting an item on the thing, but it's not. You can put an item up there as well.
Right, and these are pretty much non-solid blocks. You can pass through these, and it won't interfere with items or anything.
Be nice for decoration too, I guess. They produce light.
You know, I've never bothered to find out. I don't believe they do, but it's possible. I mean, they are floating sparks after all. Alright, and unfortunately I do not have any enchanting books prepared. So I think what we'll do is we'll call that quits for this episode. Next episode we will cover, if we have books ready, we will cover how to use the enchanting altar itself, and we'll learn how to make some other tools such as jetpacks so that we can get one for Chinson here. Maybe flamethrowers.
Nice, fall like an idiot again.
Right. And we'll make some safer distance weapons. I prefer steel shuriken. I do have a video of myself running around yelling I'm a ninja while killing things with them. It is quite fun. So we'll be back next time. We'll cover how to do enchanting and make other various helpful tools for defending yourself. Hey guys, we're back. And we're going to finish up this episode actually showing how to do some enchantment. We took an extra day before finishing the episode, and we decided that we'll experiment with how to get enchantments onto the item. So, as you can see here, I do have a Terra Blade. It is enchanted. That has Soulbound 1 on it, which prevents the item from being lost upon death. And that's really cool because this is a nice weapon. It's pretty strong, and as you can see, it shoots beams. So, yeah, we can beam fight. Okay, I'm losing health. Let's stop that. But yeah, we have a device here called the auto-disenchanter, and we have this directly hooked up to our Botania red flux converter, so it's getting power directly from our Botania garden to help us get enchantments. And essentially what you do with this is you can put items into the slot here, and what it will do is it'll start working to remove the enchantment, and as long as you have books, it'll come out with an enchanted book with that same type of enchantment. And if you have multiple enchantments, it picks a random one, and each time you do this with an armor or weapon, it will do damage to it, so keep that in mind. If it's severely damaged and there's multiple enchantments you want to get, you might want to use an anvil to repair the equipment first before putting it in. Luckily, with Mana Steel and Terra Steel objects, anything from Botania, if you have a mana tablet, you can repair it using mana. And that's really good because with the enchanting altar that we made, you can only do an enchantment once on an item. So if you want to redo an enchantment and add more enchantments at a time, you would have to use an auto-disenchanter to remove those enchantments and then repair it with mana and go back to the altar and do it over again. The way we have this set up, it does require mob essence, so you can either make a mob kill room with a sewer to siphon essence off of them, Or you can do what I did, which is create an experience drain attached to a drum or tank, and that will drain your player experience levels, and then attach an experience shower and have that right above the sewer. And you will need to keep your distance, as the experience will try to get to you before the sewer, so you can just block that off, and the sewer will grab that and convert it to mob essence, and then we can see we have that being piped over to the disenchanter. And we have a switch here, which is above some redstone conduit, so when we hit that switch up, you can see down there it's starting to pour out some of that delicious green experience, and I'll come over here and pick some of that back up. Alright, so now that we've shown that off and we know how to get some enchanted books other than loot and getting it off of looted armor and weapons from armored zombies and skeletons or dungeons and whatnot, we have another soulbound 1 book here, and real quick I'll actually show how you can create more of these. I've created a little bibliocraft setup with a printing press and a typesetting table, and this is pretty straightforward. You can put a book in here if it lets me. Well, it's not letting me. Oh, nope, we're just getting lag. Okay, so you can put a book in here, and then you can put what's called a, a print press chase, and that's just an ingot surrounded by wood slabs. You put that into the back end, and then you hold down shift and you right click on the book itself, and it gives you an enchanted printing press. And then you take that printing press, you put it in the actual printing press and supply it with ink and a blank book, and it will give you 2 enchanted books of that type. So you can keep creating copies as long as you keep an original, and that's always fun. But what we'll do now is we're gonna allow Chinson to create his sword as soulbound. So Chinson will right click on the enchanter there to place a sword. I will drop a book next to the altar and we will step away. Alright. And then we right click it with the wand, and the spark is going to start drawing energy from the mana pool. It's going to give us this really cool special effect here. And there we go. Once we hear that sound, we know it's done. So Chinson can pick up the sword, shift right click. Oh, maybe not. Let's see if I can pick it up. There it goes. I guess because I placed the book and clicked on it with the wand, it only allowed me to pick it up. So Chinson now has his sword back, and that's enchanted with soulbound. So when Chinson dies, he won't lose his sword anymore. I did try to use this on a jetpack. It seems our nifty little jetpacks from Mechanism cannot use that. So unfortunately, you know, if we do die, we'll lose our jetpacks. We'll have to make new ones. But they're not terribly expensive. It's a few things you make with Mechanism machines, and that's it. They're pretty easy to make. But that's it. That's how you do enchanting. We now have our soulbound Terrasteel swords. Hopefully we can get sharpness 4 or 5, and we can re-enchant them with that as well and do some more damage, and maybe get an episode of us in full Terrasteel enchanted armor fighting a Gaia spirit or something of that nature. Well, hopefully this was informative for everyone. I hope you have a happy enchanting, and come back for our next episode. We'll be doing some Mystcraft. Take care.